This is the Top Gun Show, the Top Gun Show. With Steve Welcome to the Top Gun Show. This is the Top Gun Show, the Top Gun Show with Steve Farmillo.
Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I bring you the top guns of the technology industry. But today, I'm going to bring you some other top guns as well. The top gun that I want to bring you is Ed Moses. He's a gold and a silver medal Olympian from the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney in the breaststroke. Ed is also a 13-time world record holder. Now, I've never held a world record in anything, but yeah, 13 is pretty good. Ed, welcome to the Top Gun Show.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's nice to have you on. I met Ed in the gym, Hive. It's probably the best gym I've ever been to in my entire life here in Scottsdale, and he has a great big cool car that says Gold Medal Pools on it. And I'm like, oh, so how'd you come up with the name Gold Medal? He said, well, I won a gold medal. I said, yeah, right.
I didn't say it like that.
Special Olympics? I mean, where did you win a gold medal? Oh, Sydney for breaststroke. Then you're real. It's a real gold medal, man. That's pretty cool. You didn't bring it, though.
I did.
You did bring it?
I did.
Oh, you got to pull it out.
I did.
Oh, my God.
I didn't tell you, but I did.
How many people have been on the Top Gun Show? Over 1,000. Can I touch it?
Of course.
Okay.
See all those dents in it?
Dude, look at that. A real gold medal.
And a silver, too.
And a silver. Not to be forgotten. A lot of people like, silver? Okay.
Push that aside.
Look at that. Hey, Top Gun. The mug is cool, but a gold and a silver medal. Congratulations, man. That is so cool. That is so cool. Well, I was Googling you, and, you can't believe everything you read on Google, but it said that you didn't start swimming till your high school senior year. Not your freshman or sophomore, but your senior year. Now, I remember when I was a kid, I watched the Olympics. I don't think it was your Olympics. It was before that, because I was probably like 9 or something. And I thought, how cool that would be to win a medal for America, So we had a pool.
So it was probably 96 Atlanta.
I'm older than that.
I was being nice.
It was maybe 76, maybe 66. No. But I remember thinking, I'm gonna get me one of those medals, Yeah. So I set my alarm clock for 5 a.m. and I went out and I jumped in the swimming pool and I started doing laps. And I said,
Is this true story?
This is true story. Okay. And I'm gonna do this, man. I'm gonna win me a medal for this country. And I did it for 3 days, and then the 4th day the alarm went off, and I thought, shoot, I can't do this. I'm not.
It's not for everyone.
My body isn't built for that.
I mean, listen, there were days I'd get up at 4:30. It'd be a foot of snow on the ground. I'd have to walk through the snow. Freshman in college, I remember it really well. Kids were coming in from frat parties at 5:30 in the morning, and I was already brushing my teeth
and you're doing
going the other direction.
So what possessed you, like senior year in high school? I'm gonna go in and go gold medal. I mean, that's kind of late, and just within a couple of years you got one.
It's, I'll give you the abridged version of it. I swam when I was younger, when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And truthfully, I was really good. I definitely was good. I won the state championship, but swimming just didn't interest me. I played baseball, I played soccer, basketball, and it just wasn't something I wanted to do. There was just more of the limelight would be to play a team sport, on TV. So I quit. It wasn't like I quit. It wasn't one of my priorities.
Yeah, you didn't sit back and have beer and pizza.
No. I wasn't not gonna be in sports, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do. I mean, let's be real. You ask any 10-year-old, they want to go play with the ball, play with the team, championships.
Yeah.
It sure as heck isn't jumping in a cold pool. There's some that love it and continue to do it all their life. That's usually the formula for a swimmer. You start young.
Yeah.
You build habits, and you go from there and just continue all the years, thousands, millions of laps, and then eventually you become a perfection of your craft. But it just didn't happen that way for me. So all the way up through high school, I played soccer. I played some golf, and let's say halfway through my junior year, I was on the soccer team and played golf. And in Virginia, I just didn't have a winter sport. I wasn't tall enough. I wasn't good enough for basketball, which was a winter sport. So in my mind, I was like, well, I'm not just going to sit back for 3 or 4 months and do nothing. So I was like, well, maybe I pick up the swim team again, see what happens. Worst case scenario, I'd get stronger, I'd have more endurance. So I looked at it as like an enhancement to whatever was going to be next. And I knew I wanted to play a sport in college, but at this point, it wasn't happening. So I was like, I need to get better somehow. And so my senior year, I decided to join the swim team, not just the high school swim team, the local club team. And yeah, I jumped in the water. I trained in afternoons for 2 hours. And truthfully, the first month, I thought it was the dumbest thing I could have ever done. I was just getting my ass kicked left and right. I mean, at this point, these are, I would say full-time swimmer kids.
Yeah.
16, 17 years old. They've been practicing since they were, 6. And at that point, I had been out of the water 6, 7 years, and I just had no ability to keep up in practice. Even though I was good when I was younger, I had nothing to show for it. You can't just jump in the water with, teenagers now and just think that even though I was good when I was younger, they're going to whoop my ass up and down the pool in practice, for sure, at a minimum.
Yeah.
And so, I committed to it early in the, fall and was like, okay, let's just stick to this. Worst case scenario again, you're going to come out on the other side physically fit. And after day, I started to get better. I started to beat more people in practice. And, the coach that I was training under said, just give it these 5 months, and here's what we'll do. We'll go to a swim meet in April, right, when the season ends, and you can go back to golf if you want in the spring, go back to soccer, and just go to this one swim meet for me. I'll train you for these 5 months over the winter, and just go to this meet. So I'm like, okay, well, nothing bad can come of this. The swim meet that was in the spring was the junior championships. Long story short, I don't want to call it a Christmas miracle, but my coach rested me for a week. I was beat up, tired from all the training for 4 months. It's like a taper, like in any other sport. You bring your workload down, and I ended up winning both my events for the East Coast, the 100 and 200 meter breaststroke. Immediately, that put me number 1 in the country in both the events, and at that point, my life changed.
Wow,
and from a perspective where I don't want to say necessarily like the fun stuff begins, but the next day, like, the phone wouldn't stop ringing. You name it, any college coach was calling. Anywhere from Auburn, Florida, Texas, Stanford, Michigan, you name it. I had a ticket to anywhere in the country at that point to go swim. And
wow.
And at that point, truthfully, when you said, you grow up watching the stars, dreaming of being that sports or that athlete, I had no idea who was even on the Olympic team as a swimmer, the Olympics before. I was so naive, and let's not, no pun intended, wet behind the ears, but
yeah.
I got thrust into this, like, no idea what I was getting into.
Wow.
It was just going to be a mechanism to, just better myself as a physical athlete, and my life changed that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what year was that? Because you won the Olympics in 2000.
Yeah, so that was 2000. This is 1998.
God,
this is my senior year.
So that's when you won the East Coast and became number 1 in the country. That's when you knew you were good.
That's when everybody knew. They were like, we've never even heard of this kid, seen this kid. To put it on paper, I went into that meet like 25th or 26th, on the East Coast for high school swimmers.
Which isn't bad. I mean,
not one bit.
Yeah.
Not one bit at all. I could have maybe gone to a local college on a small scholarship.
Yeah.
But I ended up winning both the 100 and 200 and becoming the number 1 breaststroker in the country. And at that point, just like any other sport, if you're the number 1 East or West Coasters in your, talent, you're the best recruited athlete that there is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And, that's when things, my life changed. The next day, I had to just pretty much say, well, there goes everything else in my life.
Yeah,
minus education, but from an athletic perspective, it was like, who the hell is this kid? And is this for real? We're 2 years out of the Olympics. This kid comes out of nowhere. There wasn't much Olympic talk at that point because there were definitely college kids that were better than me, and my time wasn't near quite what it took to win a gold medal.
A lot of work to do.
Definitely. But in terms of a prospect, there was no one better.
Yeah.
No one better.
Wow, that's incredible. So, okay, fast forward to the Olympics. You get to Sydney.
Yep.
Did you think you were going to win? I mean, you were good. You were great. Probably.
I mean, okay, listen, that's a pretty big fast forward. Okay, you go from 18 years old to asking me if I think I'm going to win the gold medal.
Yeah.
Let me give you a couple details in between. I have to go to college at this point. My freshman year is 1 year out of school.
There's Virginia, right?
I go to UVA. I take a scholarship there. I end up winning the NCAA championships my sophomore year. So my freshman year, I go to college. I get second in both my events. Awesome. Now this is a big deal. In NCAA collegiate, as a freshman, I get second in both my events. Now you're about a year and 2 or 3 months out of the Olympics. So that summer, I go home, I train. I'm part of this team called the Pan American Games, right? So each summer you have an international event when it's the Olympics, it's every 4 years, and
Right.
in between in those summers, you have a Pan American Games or you have a World Championships.
Okay.
That's our pinnacle. Every 4 years, you can't just you don't compete.
You can't wait for
No,
4 years.
no, you have to do something in the middle, right? So after my freshman year, I'm part of the Pan American team, and at this point, I'm about a year and a half experienced swimmer, and I've put the training in, and now I pretty much understand what it's going to take. So I end up going to the Pan American Games in Canada that year. 1 year out of the Olympics. This is 1999, after my freshman year, and I missed the world record by 0.2 of a second, and now I'm the best swimmer in the world, the best breaststroker in the world at 19 years old. At 19 years old, after my freshman year of college, 1 year before the Olympics, I go to Pan American Games, I miss the world record, and become the #1 contender for the gold medal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so
unbelievable.
Again, that was another life change. That was the first step was my senior year of high school, and then the next step was summer after my freshman year of college. Now I put in 2 good years of training behind just the talent that I had, and 1 year out of the Olympics, I'm the best ranked swimmer in the world.
So let me pause you for a second there. You've really only been doing this again for 2 years,
Yeah.
and you're the best in the world.
Yeah.
Like, are you just gifted? Is it work ethic?
So
is it diet? Is it the trainer? Is it all of those
Okay,
things?
so now you're asking all the tough questions, all the good questions, right? So there's obviously a talent there. Like I told you, when I was younger, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I was state champion. But by no means would that even remotely qualify me to get maybe even to college. There's work to be done. And when you combine those two forces, that's when you get to the level where we're talking like the 1% of the 1%. You definitely have to have talent.
Yeah.
It's look at sports these days, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to have strength, you have to have size, you have to have hand-eye coordination. You could teach some of those, but you have to have some form of athletic talent.
You got to be born with some of that. I just went to my granddaughter's play over at the school here in Scottsdale, and David Price was there, the baseball player, right? Or I guess baseball player, left-handed.
Yeah, exactly.
and I Googled him because I knew he was great and I knew he was retired, but it's like, oh, he signed a $217 million contract. I don't know, with the Red Sox or somebody. Yeah. But it's like, here he is, and I looked at him thinking, I was pretty good in baseball.
Yeah.
But that guy was born with something.
100%.
Born with something. And now I can say that about you.
You're given that, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. I mean, that is why I was good when I was younger. I had a knack for being in the water. It's a feel, no doubt. But to get to this level, it's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talent can only get you so far. Then you have to be just a workaholic, perfectionist, like everything that you imagine to do what it takes to be the 1% of 1%. I'm doing it.
Well, yeah, and I've seen you in the gym.
Yeah.
You do that today in the gym.
We're 25 years past.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, I go to the gym too, but I don't work as hard as you do. And we're going to lead into I want to find out about gold medal pools, because there's a lot of people that build pools in Phoenix, this neck of the woods, and I know you guys are gold medal for a reason. So we'll get to that in a second too. But okay, so you go to Sydney.
Yep.
Did I skip anything?
No, you're good.
Okay, you go to Sydney.
Go to the Olympics.
Qualify. Pat yourself on the back a little bit, and you get qualified.
Perfect.
And you think you got it.
Yep.
I mean, you're ranked like you were going to win.
Yep.
So it wasn't a surprise.
Going in, I'd already broken 3 world records going in.
There you go.
So yeah,
there you go.
It's on.
So you did it. You accomplished it. What was that like? I mean, you won the silver and the 100, is that right? And then the gold medal was the relay, right?
Yeah.
So that night when you went to bed after getting on the stand with these two guys, right?
Yeah.
What was that like? What was that like to win a gold and a silver for this country?
So you're close. You're very close to asking the right question. I'll help you.
I'm an interviewer, so I better have the right question.
I'll get you to what you really want to know.
Yeah.
Which is a little deeper than what you're asking. You're focusing on the result and having both these in my hands. This was won first, and by one, here's the real question: did I win or did I lose? Because a lot of people, a silver is second place, and this was my first race of the Olympics, and I was supposed to win the gold medal. I had broken the world record.
Okay.
3 months earlier.
Okay. Okay.
So if you
I wouldn't do that to you, but that's a great. That's
this
a great
is the reality
set.
of like life and winning and losing and ups
Yes.
and downs.
Yeah.
There's I don't want you to look at my gold medal and say everything's been peaches and cream. It's by far not.
Yeah.
And I would say 99% of it has been painful, and the 1% when you put that in your hand, now you can maybe sit back and take a look at yourself, but it doesn't last long. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So the hardest part that I had to go through that week was I was day one of the Olympics, the 100-meter breaststroke. I won a silver medal. I lost by 0.1. 0.1 in 100 meters is about that far.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was my race, obviously, in my mind, which I think you asked me the question earlier, like, did you know you were going to win? Of course I did. Of course I did. You know what I mean? If I didn't think I was going to win,
you would have been there.
I'm not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
When I'm standing there, I'm better than everybody else. That's all I can think about is like, I do everything better. I'm better. It's just a mentality. Like, it's not, I mean, it is vain, but in my opinion, if you're not thinking it, then it's you ain't the guy, or girl.
So were you surprised when you were that far behind?
Yeah. So in my stroke, obviously, breaststroke it's a linear stroke. So I'm looking forward all the time.
Yeah.
If you're swimming freestyle, right, you're breathing left, you're breathing right. You have a small idea. If you're kicking the shit out of everybody, you know what I mean. You're not going to see anything, But in my stroke, if I start seeing splashing out of my peripheral, it's very close to being uncomfortable for whether I'm leading or not. So absolutely, when I touch and I look up, and I lose by 0.1. I don't know how much in depth you want to go to this, but 3 weeks earlier we had the Olympic trials. This is how you qualify. You become 1 or 2 in the country, and the time that I did in the Olympic trials 3 weeks earlier, if I repeated that time, I would have won the gold medal. So at the Olympics, I went 2/10 slower, and I lost by 1/10 of a second.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that cutthroat.
Wow.
It's that cutthroat. And most people don't see that or understand the story behind it, but I just wanted to, share that part of it with you. So day one, I lose 0.1. One of the hardest questions I've ever been asked in my life. You're making it easy. I mean, you're not even asking the hard ones. I just turned 20 years old. I get out of the pool, millions of people watching. NBC is the camera in your face, like, you represent America. This is great. Congratulations. Are you happy with the silver? Upset in my mind. I'm dying on the inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just dying that I didn't win the gold. But that probably was one of the lowest, most I don't want to say the lowest point in my life because I did win a silver medal, but one of the most difficult, like, reflecting points. Like 2 minutes after I had my dream. I don't want to say it had been shattered, but in my mind it had.
Yeah,
I would guess shattered.
I would guess by that much, like, there's going to be a lot of times you're going to think, if I just could have.
Everything's that.
Yeah.
If I just.
And that relates to life too.
Oh, 100%.
My gosh. Yeah.
We'll get to this a little bit later, but the hardest thing to do is always just second guess, and how do you measure some of these if I just. In my world, swimming, I wrapped my head very well around objectivity, right? Like, I'm measured by 0.1s.
Yep. Yeah.
Once we start talking about business, how do you measure these things? Like, was it a conversation you had? Did you miss a word, a detail?
Yeah.
Those are very subjective items. But in my world, you're measured, and there's no way of hiding from this clock.
Well, and there's hundreds of millions of people watching too.
The number's the number.
In business, in my business or your business, and you lose a pool deal.
Yeah, what are you going to measure me? By my bank account, or how many pools I build, or you don't do it so objectively here that there's no hiding.
Yeah.
There's no hiding. So moving on from it, that was a great moment in my life, but also a very, very difficult one. My first race in the Olympics, and so. 6 days later, we have the relay.
Yeah.
I'm doing the breaststroke aspect of the relay. I swim the fastest breaststroke leg ever. We end up winning gold medal. We break the world record, and I get my gold medal. So that was an amazing week for me at 20 years old to go through all this on such a stage.
Yeah.
When 2 years earlier I was schlepping a golf ball around the driving range, my life took a different path for sure.
Yeah, wow, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
thanks for being so transparent because
that's how you learn in life, honestly. If people come and ask me for an autograph and take a photo, I just feel like so shallow sometimes just signing it with their kid and taking the photo when I feel like I could, do so much more, but there's only so much, time. But when I do get a chance, I love sharing those aspects of it to let people know, like, I'm real. You know what I mean? I'm not just an Olympic gold medalist on a throne all day, every day. Like, you go through it, no doubt.
So do you do public speaking? Do you do motivational speaking, business things?
I do. I do a lot of public speaking, but I stick mostly to kids and swimmers, you know, to try and help them with the struggles and how families can, you know, help their kids get further along. It's just it's a difficult like sport because of the hours that you have to log. You know, and there's not a lot of feedback. You're not playing team sports. You know, it's just you and the water, you and your thoughts, you and the clock. So I love doing that. I absolutely love doing it. I love going to teach kids. I love talking to their parents, and I love sharing the story.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's great. So, again, Reader's Digest, because I want to get to your business that you just started about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, whatever. What happened after Sydney?
So after Sydney, I continue on. At that point, I'm 20. I plan to go to the Olympics at 24. You know, 4 years later in Athens, Greece. Over the next 4 years, as you said already, I ended up breaking 13 world records, become world champion. Pretty much ran the gambit at that point, you know, hoping that in 2024 I peak. Olympic trials come around in 2024. I'm favored in 2 events now at this time. So the 100 meter and the 200 meter.
Breaststroke.
Correct.
Okay.
4 months earlier, I broke the world record in both the events at this point. Both the events at this point. So I'm favored to win 3 gold medals at this point in the 2024 Olympics. I go to the Olympic trials and I miss the team.
Why?
To this day, you know, I try and wrap my head around why, when, where, what happened, and with swimming, the Olympic trials are about 4 weeks before the Olympics, and I was swimming so well that I wanted to just get through the Olympic trials and save it all for the Olympics. And I reduced my taper a lot to try and hopefully put all my eggs in the one basket, and it caught me off guard. I didn't bring my A game. I was tired at the Olympic trials. I didn't have enough rest, and there's the low point. One shot, one time. And a lot of people don't understand that. It doesn't matter that day. If I'm sick, if I'm off, it doesn't matter. I was the world record holder.
Got in a fight with your wife.
World record holder. It doesn't matter. None of it matters that day. You can't make excuses. Like if you don't make it that day, there's no, oh, well, you broke the world record 6 months ago. People don't care about that.
Right.
They don't care. They're asking you to perform right here on that day. And I didn't do it. So there's the low. That's the lowest of lows for me in terms of my athletic career.
That's pretty brutal. I mean, knowing you're breaking the world record heading into the qualifiers is like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the moment. You know. It happens. That's when I had to like pick my boots up and figure out what was I going to do in life. And I'm sure a lot of people go through those moments, and this was that one for me. You know, I'm sitting at home while watching my friends compete at the Olympics, and
that must have been brutal to watch that. Going 4 months ago, I set the world record, and I'm not on the team.
Yeah, I mean, without giving it a word, it's the lowest of low when you're in your head. You know, it's tough. It's tough. But again, I was blessed. I'm only 24 years old at this point. I did go to Olympics. I had traveled the entire world championships, world records, and all I needed to do was just flick my mind into that mind frame. Like, this isn't the end of the world. You know what I mean? It's not. You know, I'm blessed to where I got. And then once I was able to get past that, basically my life was about to start.
Yeah. So were you trying to go to 2028 then?
No chance.
No chance.
Because
24 is kind of getting old.
At that point, for a male, you know, from physical specimen, you know, energy, hormone, like life, lapse.
Yeah.
Mid-20s is about all you're going to be able to push. There's obviously some, you know, exceptions to the rule. People have gone on a little further, but it would have been a massive uphill battle. But I had my mind so set on an amazing 2024 Olympics, and then just moving on. You know, pushing that into the real world. I didn't want to go until I was 28. I wanted to go do other things. And you could probably understand that, knowing that I had jumped into swimming so fast, that I was probably going to jump out of it really fast. You know, serve my purpose, do what I came to do, and then just get out. And maybe see if I can do something special, you know, in life. At that point, I didn't know.
Yeah. What did you do in those years that led up to your business now?
Okay, so after that, I ended up leaving Virginia because I kind of needed to move on. You know, I didn't want to be the kid around town that was like, oh, why don't you keep training, go for the next one. I wanted to start anew. So I ended up leaving town. I moved down to Orlando, Florida, and I took up golf. I needed something in my life that was, you know, at least get me up every morning. So I go down to Orlando. I joined Bay Hill Country Club with Arnold Palmer. I speak to him, have a meeting with him. He said, son, whatever you want to do, come on in here. And he allowed me to join Bay Hill. Took him on as a mentor down there. I played golf for 3 or 4 years competitively. Every day, get up. I had the same structure as I did when I was swimming. It saved my life. It really saved my life, honestly. Yeah. I was used to getting up at 5:30, going to the gym, going to pool, come back, rest, do it again. I would have been lost otherwise. It's such a hard transition into life, especially with a team, with not being in a team sport.
Yeah.
That I would have just been alone.
Yeah. Right.
By myself trying to figure things out. So I thought this would be a good parallel to like get me back into life, and it really worked. So I went down there and played golf 3 or 4 years. Didn't get a job. Just hung around like high quality golfers, plenty of PGA guys. Tiger was around then in Orlando, so it was a great transition for me just into life in general.
Yeah, I can see where that would be, because just trying to get to the top of the peak for you in that new sport required a lot of the same attributes of what built you as a swimmer.
For
I
sure.
would imagine.
For sure. For sure. And I don't necessarily say I was trying to be anything at golf. I just needed something when I woke up.
Yeah.
I needed something that was on the schedule, like structured for the day.
Yeah.
And I needed to be around other successful people.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Palmer's a good one. He's somewhat. I mean, I drink his drink a lot.
Yeah, good for you. I do too.
But
so in my mind, that was it. I was like, I got to find something and someone. So Arnie welcomed me down there. He introduced me to a bunch of tour players down there, and I played golf 3 or 4 years, and it was great. I would go to the gym, do golf stuff, practice, play golf tournaments, and it really took my mind off of what had happened in swimming, and it transitioned to me in what I thought would be my next career path. So after that, I knew golf wasn't really going to be a profession. I ended up moving out to LA. I go back to business school at UCLA for this specific reason alone, reintroduce like normalcy in terms of working with people, being around executives, understanding businesses, understanding money, understanding economics. And also I wanted to kind of establish myself as somebody that can handle, real world, real life, real business. And I thought a degree from a big pedigree university like UCLA would kind of put that stamp on, versus when every time somebody meets me, they're like, oh, can I take a picture?
Yeah.
Oh, come sign this for my daughter. I wanted the conversation to be like, well, who do you work for? What are you doing, now? And I wanted it much more business oriented. At this point, I was in my late 20s, you know what I mean? I had a lot of stuff to accomplish still. So that was a huge step for me to go back and study the GMATs, get into school again, and be around people that were experts in business.
Yeah.
I needed to be around that. I needed to hear that, and that was my next step back into the real world, and it really motivated me. It was difficult. At that point I was one of the oldest kids in business school. These kids are coming off of like, Deloitte, they're working at Google, and I'm just sitting here, some schmuck, that
smells like chlorine.
Wet behind the ears again, so not to say that the dean didn't throw up my picture the first day.
No, I'm sure.
Look who's in business school with us. But the substance behind it needed developed. You know what I mean? If I was going to be in the business world, these are the people I need to be around.
The common thread in all this that I feel, that I pick up from you, is that just competitive DNA drive that made you very successful in this sport.
Yeah.
Very successful in golf, maybe not monetarily, where you're competing with Tiger and all that kind of stuff. But then the MBA and what you've done there, and now with gold medal pools.
Yeah.
Like, talk a little bit about why you started gold medal pools and
so the parallel mostly is to be the best. You got to think like the best, look like the best, act like the best, be around the best, and that's, I think, true in anything you do. Anything you do. When it was swimming, I watched videos of the best of the best. When I went to golf, I went right to Arnie. I watched them practice on the range. When I wanted to go back to business school, I went back to UCLA and got into school. So if you're not around these people and you're not thinking like them and you're not talking like them all day long, I think you're missing out.
Yeah.
And so that parallel for me was always important. So the interesting thing about getting into pools was very similar. So when it was maybe about 2 years ago when I was living, 3 years ago now when I was living in Vegas, I had a buddy who built pools out there. So I worked for a company called Tao Nightlife, Tao Daylife Entertainment Company. So I was running pools and nightclubs, and the reason behind that was my philosophy was, where can I go to meet the most successful millionaires and business people every day without having to travel the world? So
sure.
I went to Las Vegas and I said, these people can just come to me. You know, if I run or look at a venue and all these millionaires are coming to hang out every day, all I got to do is network and meet with these guys.
Yeah.
And so I'm putting myself in those positions again.